Buddhist lessons to help focus on yourself. A practical, soulful guide for a noisy life. 1. The mirror doesn't lie, even when you don't like what it shows. Let's start with something simple but uncomfortable. Self-honesty. You ever stare in the mirror, not the bathroom kind, but the mental one, and think, who is this person really? In Buddhism, there's this concept of right view, not just seeing clearly, but seeing without illusion, without ego, without the filter that makes you look a little taller or kinder or more together than you are. It's not about judging yourself. It's about facing what's real. Here's the thing. Most people don't hate themselves. They hate the version of themselves they pretend to be. And pretending, that takes energy, a lot of it. Energy that could have been used to rest, heal, create, or reconnect. So if you want to focus on yourself, not just your goals or your habits, but you've got to get clear. Look honestly. No polishing, no pose, just presence. How to start? Try this practice. Sit down, breathe once, deeply, then write. What part of myself am I avoiding? Then just let it come. Don't overthink it. Don't edit. Let the mirror speak. It's not always pretty, but it's honest. And honesty is the first brick in the foundation of inner peace. 2. Stop treating yourself like a project. Ever feel like your life is one big to-do list? You wake up and it's fix your mindset. Read 5 productivity books. Meditate like a monk. Become emotionally bulletproof. Eat the exact grams of protein because optimization. And somewhere in that chaos, you forget something kind of crucial. You're not a project. You're a person. In Buddhism, there's a word, metta. It means loving kindness, but not just the kind you give others, the kind you give yourself. Self-focus isn't self-improvement. It's self-remembrance. Metta teaches us this. You don't heal by controlling every part of yourself. You heal by becoming a friend to the parts you keep trying to fix. Let me put it like this. Imagine talking to a friend the way you talk to yourself during a low motivation day. You lazy idiot. Pull it together. Sound familiar? Yeah, that wouldn't last long. So why do we think it works on us? Here's a gentle practice. Each morning, say something kind to yourself. Out loud. Doesn't have to be deep. Just true. Like, hey, you're doing your best. That's enough right now. And if that feels weird, good. Growth always feels a little weird at first. Keep going. 3. Burn the script. Be where you are. You know those invisible scripts we carry? By 30, I'll have this. By 40, I'll be that. By 50, I'll finally be free. But here's what no one tells you. Even if you hit all your marks, job, house, health, your soul might still feel itchy. Like you did everything right, but something's still missing. That's where the Buddhist teaching of impermanence, anicca, steps in and gently rips the script out of your hand. Nothing is permanent, not your routines, not your reputation, not even your plans. And that's not scary, it's liberating. Because if everything's always changing, then you're allowed to change too. You're allowed to drop the act, rewrite the story, or stop writing altogether and just be. Seriously, try this. Next time you feel off track, instead of forcing yourself back on, ask, what if the track has changed? Because maybe it has, and maybe that's okay. 4. Stop collecting noise and call it growth. Let's be honest, most of us don't need more information. We need silence. How many books do you need to read before you just sit and feel your life? There's a Buddhist story about a student who keeps asking for teachings. So the teacher starts pouring tea into his cup, keeps pouring even as it spills over. The student yells, "Stop! It's already full." And the teacher says, "Exactly, you're already full. Now what?" Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers, but they whisper and noise screams. That's why Buddhist monks spend weeks or years in silence, not to escape, but to hear. You don't have to disappear to a cave in the Himalayas. But could you turn your phone off for a day? No Instagram scroll, no podcast while cooking, no YouTube while folding laundry. Just you, just the sounds of your actual life. You'll be surprised what bubbles up when you stop drowning in 5. You're not your thoughts, even the loud ones. Ever had a thought like, I'm a failure or I'll never change, and just accepted it as truth? That's the mind doing what it does, spinning stories. But here's a Buddhist truth: you are not your thoughts. Thoughts are clouds. You're the sky. Sometimes clear, sometimes stormy, but always you're the sky. This teaching comes from right mindfulness, the ability to notice your thoughts without getting swept away. Next time a negative thought hits, don't fight it. Just say, that's a thought, not the truth, just a thought. Then let it pass, like a leaf on a stream. If your mind is constantly running, you don't have to stop it, just don't chase it. 6th, practice non-attachment, not indifference. People mix these up all the time. Non-attachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care deeply without gripping tightly. Think of love. Non-attachment says, I love you, and I don't need to control you to feel okay. Same with goals. You can want to succeed and still be at peace if things shift. There's a term, upadana, grasping, clinging. Buddhism teaches that grasping causes suffering. Why? Because what you cling to will eventually change. So you can cling, or you can hold gently. You can hope without demanding. This shift changes everything. You start feeling lighter, like your joy isn't held hostage by outcomes. Try saying this next time you're scared to let go. I can care without control. I can hold without gripping. You'll feel it in your chest, a loosening. That's freedom. 7. Solitude isn't loneliness. It's a superpower. Here's a hot take. Most people aren't afraid of being alone. They're afraid of meeting who they are when no one else is around. Solitude isn't punishment, it's practice. In Buddhist tradition, retreats into the forest or mountains weren't about hiding, they were about clearing space. You've got to stop filling every silence with company or chatter or content, because when you're always reacting to others, you never really meet yourself. Here's what solitude teaches you: what you truly value when no one's watching, what thoughts you run from, what brings you quiet joy. Start small. Go for a walk, alone, no music, no podcast, just you. Let your own voice get loud again. 8. You don't need to find yourself. Just remember, modern life says, go find yourself, as if you're lost in some corner of the world, waiting to be discovered. But Buddhism offers a different path. Not finding, remembering. Beneath all the noise, fear, and overthinking, there's a version of you that's already whole. You don't need to earn your worth, you just forgot it. Meditation isn't about becoming something new. It's about remembering who you already were before the stress, the guilt, the rush. Take 5 minutes, sit quietly, place your hand on your heart, breathe, say, I am enough. Even if you don't believe it yet, say it until the remembering starts. 9. Everything you avoid is a door. You know that thing you keep avoiding? That uncomfortable truth, that painful memory, that hard conversation. That's the door. And here's the wild part. Behind that door is you, the deeper you. Buddhist teachings remind us that avoidance is subtle suffering. Every time you flinch away from discomfort, you cut off a part of yourself. So if you want to grow, to really focus inward, you've got to walk toward what hurts, but not recklessly, gently, with compassion. Ask, what am I afraid to face? Why? And what would happen if I just didn't run this time? Your freedom's not in escape, it's in embrace. 10. There is no final version of you, thank God. We all want closure, finality, a moment where we can say, I've arrived. But Buddhism says the self is fluid, ever-changing, like a river, not a statue. So stop waiting to feel done. You're not a project, you're a process. And you know what? That's beautiful, because it means you're never stuck. You're allowed to begin again, as many times as it takes. Each morning is a rebirth. Each breath, a new chapter. So don't chase perfection, chase presence. Focus on yourself, not the curated, polished social media self, but the breathing, aching, trying, healing one. That self is worth knowing, and that's what this journey is all about. Final thought, it's not about becoming, it's about coming home. There's no secret path, no guru to hand you the map, but you do have the tools: silence, honesty, kindness, breath. Focus on yourself, not to control, not to improve, but to remember, to soften, to return. You're not broken, you're becoming, and every step back to yourself counts.